Hi guys, I'm Falk, and today I want to talk to you about ghost notes. Now don't worry, I'm not going to have a seance with you or anything like that. Ghost notes as they relate to drumming. Okay, and I basically want to tell you first what are ghost notes, okay? Because this is a beginner lesson, so if you are a beginner, you might be wondering, what are ghost notes, when do I play them, and why do I play them? Well, basically a ghost note is a quiet note that's usually played in between accented notes. It doesn't always have to be played in between accented notes, but if you're playing just a standard rock groove, a ghost note is sometimes there that it'll just kind of fill in the groove and give it more feel, rather than it sounding very, very straight and rigid. So a groove without ghost notes would sound like this. And then if I just throw a few ghost notes in, I'll do the same kind of rigid style hi-hat playing with my right hand, but if I throw a few ghost notes in with my left hand, you're going to hear the groove sounds completely differently. So I always explain ghost notes as being more felt than heard. And I guess a lot of people who say they've seen ghosts, I am not a believer in ghosts or anything like that, but a lot of people who say they've seen ghosts, they'll be like, they feel like something is in the room, but they don't necessarily see it or they don't necessarily hear it. And so, that kind of relates to this lesson, and ghost notes, they're more felt than heard. And right now, because you're just hearing drums, you'll probably hear them more. But if that groove is played within a song or something, the people listening wouldn't necessarily hear all those ghost notes. But the musicians on stage, they'd feel that and they'd be able to lock with you better because you're kind of filling out the groove more and giving it more feel. All right? And so these exercises that are written for you are just going to get you started with playing ghost notes. Okay? So let's just look at exercise number 1. We basically have just a standard 16th note rock groove with ghost notes on the of 2 and the of 4, okay? So when we play our accents, usually we the accents and notes on beats 2 and 4, we'll lift up our hand and we'll hit the snare on counts 2 and 4. Now, with ghost notes, because we want a softer stroke, you don't want to lift up your arm and then, wail the ghost note. It's supposed to be quiet. It's supposed to be more felt than heard. And so what one of my teachers always showed me was just leave the stick low and then just drop it, okay? I'll just drop it. Okay, so exercise 1, like I said, we have a snare hit, accent on beat 2 and beat 4. And then we have the ghost note on the of 2 and the of 4. So we come down, hit our accent, and then we'll keep the stick low, ready for the ghost note, and then just drop the stick on the ghosted note. Simple as that. So I'm going to play it for you guys at 70 beats per minute, and just really notice how I go from the accent to the ghost note, accent to the ghost note. And that's what this groove is designed to kind of teach you. It is a musical groove. It's something that you'll hear in a lot of songs, but it is more of an exercise to help you guys develop this technique. You guys can kind of take it and put it to music in whatever way you want to. I'm sure you'll morph them and come up with crazy grooves of your own. So with that said, let's do this at 70 beats per minute, and then I'm going to do it faster for you at 120 beats per minute. All right, the second exercise we're going to do is going to place the ghost note on the E of 1 and then the E of 3. And then we just have bass drums on the 1 in the and the 3 in the and. So the ghost note is going to be in between the bass drum strokes, okay? And so just start this one really slow if you're having trouble with it, and just really focus on getting that clean, consistent sound between the 2 bass drum strokes and the first ghost note, all right? Let me play it for you guys at 70 and 120. So let's take a look at the last one. We have ghost notes on the E of 1 and the E of 3, and then we have ghost notes on the A of 2 and the A of 4, and then our accented strokes on counts 2 and counts 4. So you have 2 ghost notes in between the accented notes, okay? So when you perform those ghost notes, you're not going to necessarily want to come up high on the one on the A of 2, because you got to perform another one on the E of 3. So just keep your stick low and just do 2 tap strokes in there, okay? A tap stroke just means we start low and finish low. Just tap the drum. All right, so let's take a look at number 3. We basically have a ghost note on the E of 1 and the E of 3, and the A of 2 and the A of 4, and then we have our accents on count 2 and count 4. So you'll notice in between count 2 and 4, we have 2 ghost notes. So in order to perform those ghost notes, we're just going to want to do 2 tap strokes, okay? So when you do the ghost note, don't necessarily prepare for the next ghost note by moving your hand up, but actually just stay low. So that's just called a tap stroke, which is you start low and you finish low. But then on the ghost note on the E of 3, you're going to want to do that as an upstroke. Come up and prepare for the accented stroke. All right? So just kind of keep that in mind when performing these, especially when you're practicing them slower, because you want to kind of develop those techniques so when you play faster, you know, the techniques and those motions will shrink, but essentially you're going to be doing that just at a faster tempo, and it'll be easier and it'll sound better and it'll groove better. All right, so let me play this for you at 70 and 120 beats per minute. All right, so there's some beginner ghost note exercises. Like I said, I'm not trying to give you the EBGBs or freak you out or anything like that. Ghost notes are just a method of playing the drums that's quieter than the accented note, and it's supposed to be more felt than heard. So take these exercises to your kit and have some fun with them. Hi guys, I'm Falk, and today I want to. Hi guys, I'm Falk, and today I want to talk to you guys. Now, believe it or not, ghost notes. Today I want to talk to you a little bit. Excuse me, that's not good to do.